gigantic book that everybody keeps asking me about. Hey, Jason, what do you think about Archaix? And I try to tell people, well, Archaix is a Jewish psyop. All you have to do is get 50% through the book and they start revealing it to you. Everything is Judaic, every bit of it. But you don't even get a hint of that until you get to about 50% of the book, after they've already hooked you in on this new paradigm, this new simulation like structuring of reality, the solar system and the balancing of the archons. It's all in the Archaix, written over 60, 70 years ago. But once you get like into the 380th to 480th page of Archaix, they don't even try to hide it no more. It's all Jewish psyop, just like Freemasonry. Get all these Freemasons now ticked off. You know, people talking about, hey man, I made it up to such and such degree of Freemasonry. I made it here and I kind of backed out for whatever reasons. Okay, cool. Was that before or after you fucked the goat?
That's exactly what I said. Go check out my video on base knowledge, how to still make it in modern society. That's one of my most underrated videos, bro. My editing was perfect also in that. But that's what I said about the Masons, like, they got all these gay ass rituals, bro. I bet that, like, guys who are at the top of the Masons, they had to come up with these 33 different gay ass rituals. Are completely insane. Like, what are the people doing the rituals thinking? Like, the higher ups have to laugh their asses off when they made those up, or it's some Star of David knowledge that we peasants don't understand. Anyway, continue, Jason.
It's so ridiculous. You really made it through all these degrees. You did all that silly shit. You put the apron on, you walked backwards, man. You did all these weird. What degree had you doing something absolutely making you feel like a buffoon before you realized, man, maybe this isn't for me? And in what degree can you point to me in Albert Pike's 32 Degrees of Freemasonry, published in 1885? What degree can you isolate for me that doesn't have some type of Jewish ritual in it? Yeah, please show me one. Yeah. Jewish words, idioms, and everything are in every single degree of Freemasonry. How did you not know that? I can be forgiven. I'm not a Mason. I'm not a Freemason. I'm not a member of the craft. I can be forgiven for not knowing all that. But if you've been through it, man, how dare you get mad at me, man, for telling you that you're just a Freemason butt hurt because you fell for a Jewish psyop. That's what you fell for. All the fraternal benefit societies, all of them. Foresters, Elks, Moose, Lions Club, Sisters of the Eastern Star, and Bassant's whatever her stuff was called, I can't remember. Started in 1902, the female version of Masonry. Yeah, Freemasonry, Scottish Rite, York Rite, none of that shit matters. Every bit of it, man, every bit of it. Well, Adam Weishaupt's Illuminati, all these things were done. All these societies were created specifically so that Europeans, not knowing that they were being funded by Rothschild and Jewish banks, these European bankers, movers and shakers and all that would freely move among real rich Jewish elitists, and these Jewish elitists were able to control all kinds of things.
This is the important part. Know your history.
And integrate. I mean, why do you think Congress has dual citizenships now? Hell, what do you think's going on? It's all by design, guys. Every bit of it's by design. I don't even care, because I'm not here to save the world. I get tired of people trying to talk about, hey man, what do we need to do? We need to get a bunch of people together. We need to do this. Yeah, you know what? You sound like another David Koresh compound victim. I'm not going to be that. We're not here to save this world. This world's fallen. The people in this world is fallen. The collective is fallen. The institutions are fallen. It's all designed as feedback loops to poison the soul. And if you can't get past that, then you belong here. As long as you think you're here to save the world, you're going to stay in the world trying to save it. It's just the way it is. You're writing your own code, and your code is on a feedback loop, and it's empowered by negative default programming. It's who you've chosen to be. It's why you're always angry. It's why you're always depressed. It's why nothing ever goes on. It's why none of your relationships work. It's because you think you're here to save the world, and the world was never meant to be saved. It is a construct. You were meant to pass through it, to grow, mature, to go on about your business. Because if you think this world is worth saving, then you're always going to be here trying to save it. And you're always going to loop back over and over and over and over. It's crazy. So yeah, I went viral for the very first time in my life. And all I did was take a picture.
I'm still waiting for my first time. When are base science or base knowledge gonna go viral? Let's make it happen, guys.
Picture of a simple book that was at the book tree, and the cover tells it all. It doesn't matter if the subject matter doesn't really talk about it. The cover art shows exactly what the true meaning behind the subject matter is. And the cover art specifically showed the Jewish six-pointed star, the Star of David. All you have to do is remove the two horizontal bars. Just remove the two horizontal bars and you have the Freemason symbol. That's all I did was show the picture. This guy's dead now. He died in 1999, in the 90s sometime. He was born in 1917 or 1918. The dude that wrote the book knows a lot. He's ex-military. He's seen all this shit. He wrote a book about Freemasonry. The cover of his book shows that Freemasonry has its origin in the Star of David. That's all I did. 3 words. All I said was, it's all Jews. In less than 20...
Is it that easy to go viral, bro? Well, that's an interesting way to go viral. Considering...
4 hours, my post had 200,000 views. 7.1 thousand likes. Over 1,000 shares and reposts. I finally went viral. Talking about the tiny hats. I'll be damned. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know why the tiny hats worry about anything. What you worried about anybody talking about you for?
Yeah, what the fuck are you worried about? You got all the power. You got all the freaking man-made money. You got all the control. Well, you probably want to keep the control also. Maybe that's why. They're gonna wanna limit a little bit. But let's get into the next part. It might be a play. Might be a play. Know your history.
Why? You already own you already run the world banks. You already own all the sports agencies. Shit, the casinos were all your design. The Italian mafia is all Jewish. The Russian mafia is all Jewish. What you worried about people talking about you for? You did exactly what you said you were going to do in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion.
They did exactly. They manifested this shit perfectly. John D. Rockefeller has some competition. The learned elders of Zion. They might be the number 1, John D. Rockefeller, you now number 2 manifestation artist of all time. The learned elders of the Zion. They're the number 1 manifestations. These bitches, spiritual bitches these days, they need to catch up on these guys. You need to learn. You need to read the protocols of learned elders of Zion. That was actually one of my ideas, like a few weeks ago, to do a base science video. Raw chicken experiment where we eat raw chicken and we we read what those protocols were, because I have read them, and you should as well. But then I was like, damn, this might be a little bit too spicy and a little bit too real for YouTube. And like Jason is probably gonna say, they manifested that shit perfectly, bro. They came up with the plan and they manifested. They executed the plan perfectly and they got a hefty ass plan. If these guys, these Zionists could manifest that, you can manifest some good in your life too, bro. If these guys with their Star of David knowledge, maybe that's why some of us can't manifest shit.
Anybody who's read the protocols knows, okay, well shit, you set out to do this in 1902. You published this. You published this in 1901. By 1902, people were talking about it. In 1903, you did a huge media campaign trying to tell everybody that this was anti-Semitic. This document's anti-Semitic, and all it did was tell the truth. And here we are 123 years later, and anybody who reads the protocols of the learned elders of Zion will see that it's no longer a political statement, it is a book of prophecy. How do we know? Because the United States is exactly what you foretold in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. It's right there. Anybody can read it. Don't listen to Jason. And I don't know why the Jews are even worried about people talking about them. You did exactly what you said you were going to do. Ingeniously. You passed off fictions until they became facts. How do we know that? It's called Hollywood. All these different cinemas and all these different things. You passed off all these movies promoting fictions until they became facts. And then you took actual facts and contorted them into fictions so many times that 99.9% of the people in the world today, even though it hadn't even been 80 years, already believes a falsified version of World War II. Nothing in World War II we're taught.
Yes, bro. Let's get into that history, bro. And the history might repeat if we ain't careful over here. We're gonna get to that, but that's a spicy topic. Ever the last bell.
Today in college and high school actually happened the way they said it did. Why are you worried about what we're talking about? You did exactly what you set out to do. It's crazy. I wouldn't be worried about it. Shit. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. You guys conquered the world. You did that. Now, the only problem I foresee is that I don't think you can hold it down. You did what you did, but you ain't the only ones at the top. The Jews are not the only ones at the top. Yeah, the Rockefellers and the Carnegies had to make room for the Rothschilds. But from the very beginning, there was a Mazzini plan, and they planned on taking out. And the Carnegies and the Rockefellers and the Orsinis and the Vatican, they all had a plan. And they're working together behind the scenes. If you think the Jews are in absolute control of the world, you got another thing coming. That's what World War III is all about. And that's why they're in a hurry now. That's why they're in a hurry for their IDF plan, Greater Israel. That's why they're using the United States, man, to make Israel bigger. That's why anti-Semitism is on the rise in the United States, and it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to grow because it's part of the plan. It's nothing Archaix did. All I'm doing is reading the field, and the field tells me the same exact play that was happening before World War II is happening now. It's happening now. The World Jewish Congress declared war against Nazi Germany in 1933. They're sitting in a secret. Anybody could Google this. Ironic. Google's owned by the Jews. It's ironic that you can use Google and still find this out. Easy to see, guys. So easy to see. What happened before World War II? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The World Jewish Congress turned their backs on German Jews. When Adolf Hitler was trying to get the Jews out of his country, he offered to take them out by train. He offered to subsidize the whole deal. He offered to pay for it. He offered to give market value to Jewish businesses and land that was in Germany, because the German people were fed up with having the siphoning going on with the German economy. So he nationalized all the industry, and the Germans loved him for it. It had nothing to do with Nazis and Nazi doctrine and all this Hollywood made up bullshit. It had everything to do with the fact that Germans could now make money making German products that they wouldn't get overtaxed on, and they didn't have to worry about working in Jewish-controlled factories where they got nothing. They got nothing and couldn't even afford anything in stores when Jewish kids were going to school with shoes on their feet and German kids were barefoot. This is what you don't know about before war.
Oh, I didn't know that. The German kids were lucky, bro. They were grounded 24/7. That's why they probably became so freaking strong. And all that raw pork. They grounded all that raw pork, bro. That's why German kids back then, they were smart AF. There's like a zillion geniuses came out of Germany at that time.
World War II. Adolf Hitler changed all that shit. Turn around, and the same thing was going, the same exact political scheme that unfolded before World War II is unfolding in the United States right now. And what I'm talking about is that international Jews turned their backs on German Jews because they needed scapegoats. They needed victims, and they knew that they were going to force Germany to make a move, and they did. When Germany realized they can't get rid of this huge population of Jews because no other countries would take them, and they couldn't just kick them out of their country, Adolf Hitler had a problem. He reached out to the United States, but it was too late. He didn't understand at the time that the United States was already a captured operations ever since they killed William McKinley and replaced him with a Jewish president, Roosevelt, 1901 and 1902. So,
thank you, Jason, from Archaix, one of the best history channels on YouTube. Go check it out. Thank you for all this history lesson. So we at the base science can learn this, because we want to be base historians as well. So we got that base knowledge in our brains flowing like water. Be like water, bro. Anyway, what I got out of that is, be careful, bro. These people are brewing something, and they ain't afraid to use anybody as a human shield for them. You need to know your real enemy. You really need to know it. Don't just take guesses and put the blame on big group of people like that. You can get that idea from this video, but don't do it. Read between the lines, if you know what I mean.